loves, it's Sam. So I have been requested to do, I already did the Wide Awake beginning, which was technically California Girls makeup, but it was still in the Wide Awake video and I loved it. So I did the first part of her makeup, which was the purple sparkly, and then now I'm doing the kind of, I'm gonna call it Vampy Glam because it was quite dark, and you know, the dark lip and the sultry eyes and the, you know, really kind of, you know, I'm really annoyed in life right now look. This is what I came up with. Obviously it's not going to be exact. It's so hard to find like the exact colors. Obviously she's a lot paler than me. I have a little bit of a tan going on. So it's going to look different on everyone. But it's, you know, it's an inspired kind of, here's my take on it. So I hope that you guys like it. It's actually something that I never normally would wear in like real life. So it's actually quite fun, you know, something a little bit darker. I will have pictures of this look on my blog, as well as a list of all of the products used, a list as well as my kind of inspiration picture of her, in case you're wondering which look it is. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but in case you are. And if you're wondering how I got my hair like this, do not ask. I went to bed with it wet. That's all I did, and then I woke up. So that's what you get. So anyway, thank you for watching. Keep on watching if you want to see how I did this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put my foundation on. So I'm going to take my Leo Ellie Triple Dissolution BB Cream. I'm going to do 1 squirt of that. And then I'm going to take the L'Oreal Visible Lift Smooth Absolute Foundation. The color is 172 Sand Beige. And what I do is just kind of squeeze it, you know, twist it up, and then plonk it on my hand. Whoa, it just came out a lot. That was a bit too much, but that's okay. And then I just mix the two together. And I mix two together because I like the coverage of the Leo Ellie Triple Dissolution, but it's too light for me. So that's why I have a slightly darker one to mix it with. But so far I'm really, really loving this combination. It goes on really, really nicely. So I'm just going to plonk that on. Using my Sigma F80, I'm just going to start blending that all over the face. Like I've said before, Katy Perry always has flawless foundation. Okay, so my foundation's on. The next thing I'm gonna do is conceal. And I'm just going to take my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Under Eye Concealer and just put that kind of in a triangular shape. Can you tell that I haven't been sleeping? I seriously have not been sleeping at all, and I'm actually quite tired, so if I seem a bit pooish today, that's why. I'm not in a bad mood or anything. I just am so tired. I keep on waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I can't get back to sleep, and then I fall asleep at like, you know, 5, and then I wake up in an hour, so I'm pretty much tired. And then I'm going to blend that out with my Sigma P86. For bronzer, I'm just going to use my NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Powder in Sunny, and it didn't look like she had very much on, so I'm basically just going to contour. She was quite kind of, you know, a little bit paler in the video. This is the Sigma F40 that I'm using. Obviously I have more of a tan than her, but I'm basically just going to do what I would normally do on a regular basis, just kind of to shape my face and make it look a little bit better than it is. So temples, under the jaw, and then I just do a little bit under the lip and then down the sides of my nose. Now for the blush, it didn't look like she had very much on at all. It was almost like it was just kind of like a bronzy kind of rose color. I'm going to take this Clinique blush, and this is the Soft Pressed Powder in New Clover, and that's what it looks like. And it's just kind of like a nice rose color, and I'm just barely going to put a tiny little bit of that just kind of on the backs of my cheeks, just to kind of give me a little bit of color, but not too much. So see, it's just a tiny little bit of, you know, a little bit of color, but not too much, so that you look a little bit alive. For the skin, I'm not going to use a highlighter because it didn't look like she was overly glowy. It looked quite matte. And so I'm just going to move right onto the eyes. I'm going to take my MAC paint in Bare Canvas, and I'm just going to prime them first so that they don't get creasy. Creasy-weasy. And oh my gosh, I was going to tweeze my eyebrows, and I lost my tweezers. I don't know where they went. I'm constantly losing things. Okay, so while that's kind of setting, I'm going to put my eyebrows on. I just used my Define a Brow from Maybelline in medium brown. I'm going to just do my normal eyebrows. I'm not going to copy hers because obviously she has way darker hair. Her hair is purple in the video and mine is a dirty blonde. So for the first color I'm going to take, this is from Michael Todd Cosmetics. I have no idea what this color is. I've had it for such a long time. I just have like a little palette like this. I'll try to remember to look up maybe if I still have the box, but it's just kind of like, it's kind of a grayish with a tiny bit of purple. To me it looked like her eyes were kind of like a mixture of a browny gray with a slight tint of purple, but it wasn't like really purple, so that's what I'm going to go with. I'm just going to take a regular, where's your brushes when you need them, you know, that's what I say. Okay, so this is the E55 from Sigma, and I'm basically just going to put that all over my entire lid. I'm trying not to go out too far. I don't want to like wing it out. It seemed like she just kept it real kind of circular, making it so that her nice kind of rounded eyes really just kept their shape. So, whoops, I just plonked a really bunch up there. So yeah, you're basically just keeping it right in that eye socket. So that's going to be our base color. You can do it really messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'm just going to take a regular old fluffy brush. This is the Sigma E35. And I'm just going to kind of go back over the edges. Remember, do not like make this really cat eye or anything. Just keep it nice and rounded. You're just kind of softening those edges. The next color that I want to take is a slightly more purplish shade. It's got a tiny bit more purple. This is Notre Dame by from the Sigma Paris palette, and it's a little bit darker, and I'm just going to start putting that kind of right on top just to kind of darken it up a little bit. So you can focus, like when you first start, put it in the crease and then just kind of bring it down all over this first shade that you put down. You just want to kind of darken it up, and obviously on everyone's skin tone it's going to look different. If you're really pale, this will look really, really kind of dark. If you have a little bit of a tan like I do right now, it won't look as kind of dark and smoky. I'm just going to take my Sweet Cream eyeshadow from Mary Kay, and with a clean E55, I'm just going to put that on my brow bone just to kind of highlight it, but it's not as shimmery. It's a matte kind of cream color because it didn't look like she had any shimmer going on. And then the next color that I'm going to take is this, my Souvenir from Moon from Catrice. That's what it looks like. It's got a little bit more brown in it, and I'm just going to put that right over the top of everything that we've put down. So you're basically just kind of layering a bunch of different colors so that it has that brownish grayish with a teeny weeny bit of purple in it. I'm going to take a little bit of all three of those colors again, kind of just pop it all, you know, on the same brush, and then just kind of bring that underneath. It was quite dark underneath, I noticed. So we will be putting liner down there. I'm going to get my Avon Super Shock Gel Liner, if I can find it. And she had false lashes on, so it looked like there was a lot of liner up top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this Avon Super Shock all the way across. So I'm just going to get a smudgy brush. This is the E21 from Sigma. And I'm just going to kind of smudge that out. And then I'm going to just go over with that Notre Dame color, or Notre Dame, however you say it, and just kind of soften it so it doesn't look like a lot of liner, but it just looks kind of a little bit dark and kind of woo, you know what I mean? Because woo is such a good describing word that I've been using a lot lately, and I don't know what it means. By the way, this brush is great for doing this, for smudging. Sometimes I feel like the pencil brushes can be a bit too wiggly, and then you end up having a huge mess going on. This one is quite stiff, So it really smudges out super well. And it makes it nice and precise so that you don't feel like you're making a massive mess of yourself. If you have very almondy eyes and you want to get that more Katy Perry look, just make it a little bit thicker right in there, and then it will look like you have rounder eyes than you do. I already have round eyes, so I don't need to do too much of that. It was quite dark underneath here, and I normally don't do this, but as I'm doing a specific look, I will. That was the same eyeliner that I used on top. I'm just gonna kind of smudge that out because it was nice and dark under there. Oh, my nose is running now. Okay, and then I usually just kind of brush that up a little bit. Now, it didn't look to me like she actually had it in her waterline. I'm not going to. Obviously, if you want to, you can. I'm going to go ahead and put my mascara on. That's pretty much it for the eyes. She was definitely wearing false lashes, so if you are someone that wants to do that, go ahead. But you guys know my deal with false lashes. I need to find another glue. So I'm just going to use my Maybelline XXL Pro extensions. So I do 2 coats of the white and then 2 coats of the black. The trick to making them look really kind of dramatic is letting all of your coats get tacky in between, so that it, like, I don't know, but if you just kind of like wait a little bit, waft them or something, then they look really nice and dramatic. Okay, so top mascara is on. I'm going to put a little bit of the Urban Decay Super Curling Mascara underneath, Super Curling Mascara, because it did look like she had a little bit of kind of bottom lashes going on. Okay, so the eyes are done. So basically, because she was looking down a lot, or looking up, and you just saw like all this kind of dark right there, and then you're like, oh, a little bit of purplish, brownish, grayish up top. But it wasn't anything major, and it wasn't up super high, so that's why it's just kind of focused right in that kind of eye socket area. For the lips, it was like an auburny, kind of like, it wasn't red, but it was like a burgundy color. So I'm going to use Auburn 801 from NYX. This is the lip liner, and I'm gonna fill in the whole lip with that. Then I'm gonna go with a slightly brighter lipstick. This is Perfect Brick 02 from Elizabeth Arden, and it's kind of like it's like a burgundy-ish red. And there was no gloss on her lips. It didn't look glossy at all. So there's the finished look. So I hope that you guys like it. Obviously it looks different on me. It's going to look different on everybody because I don't look like Katy Perry. It's basically just kind of like, I say, it's like a Vampy Glam. The dark lip, mine might be a tad darker than hers. It's so hard to match up perfectly. But then that kind of like just sultry kind of dark, like, ooh, I'm just so angry with you right now. You know what I mean? I think that's what she's saying. So I hope that you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!